All right, guys. Next up, we have our Onward review. And Cheddar, you saw this one, right?
Yeah, I did.
So, Cheddar, first off, what did you think of the movie overall?
So, overall, I did think it was a pretty good story.
Mhm.
Like any Disney movie, you kind of know what is gonna happen. Kind of have an idea of the feel of the movie. I do think it's a must see. I think I had to watch it with the amount of advertisement that's been put out in the movie. It was like, okay, I gotta go see this thing. What's all the hype about? I
Yeah.
do think it's got a lot of lessons in the movie for like the younger generation.
Mhm.
But other than the tearjerker and my wife calling me a bitch, I do think it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's made by Pixar, but Pixar's always about those like life lessons, or if you think about Up, you're crying in the first 5 minutes of the movie, stuff like that. So they always kind of have those going on. So story wise, break down what the story is. I mean, no spoilers, just kind of setting up what's going on in this movie. Why are we here?
Two brothers, and they have the ability to bring their dad back to life for 24 hours,
Hmm.
uh, and they're on an adventure to actually bring their dad back and meet him or reunite back with him for a short period. But it's how they get there and the challenges they face and how they grow together to get to the end point without
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
spoiling too much.
No, yeah, that's the key though. And it's funny because from the trailers, I thought it was gonna be more about the dad, but it's so not. It's all about the two brothers and their relationship together.
Right, bro, about halfway through, I was like, wait a second, this has got almost nothing to do with the dad.
Yeah, he's just kind of hanging out. Yeah, that's funny.
So how would you think of it?
The story wise, I thought was done very well. I liked the pacing of it. I couldn't really pin down what it was, and I don't want to keep comparing it to Shrek because, of course, that's easy. It's both fantasy, parodies, but it is kind of like Shrek in the fact that we're constantly getting a new little mini adventure in our adventure, and I liked that a lot. You had different things going on, and then they used the mom and the Manticore as kind of like these transitional characters. Like something would happen with the brothers, and then you'd see how the mom and the Manticore are doing. Then you go back to the brothers and stuff like that. So there was kind of a funny little side gag going. And I really liked it. I liked the finale. It was so well done. The final boss, we'll just call it that, was like, wow, that's a really cool idea. That was really neat. And it was really well done. And I got it wrapped up so well. Yeah, I was a little bitch too. So I was like, fight back the tears. Yeah, it was really well done. Uh,
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did like it. Do you think there's anything they could have done better on it, or do you think
well,
that it was good?
yeah. It's hard to say because I actually kind of would have wanted to see more of the dad, like him as kind of. There were moments where like just the legs walking around was funny because one of the things we haven't mentioned before, like we'll go into visuals next year. It's very beautiful movie and stuff like that. The way it's done and it's that Pixar quality, and the way that the dad's walking around, he's only got his legs, his like bottom half of his body walking around. And I liked the way they showed like there was just like light emitting from there, like it was unfinished magic, which is exactly what the problem was. And so we had that whole thing going on. I would have liked to see more humor coming out of that. Like there were moments where it was just, oh, that's funny, and there was like even heartfelt moments where like he would like da 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 tap with a foot, and the dad would respond like, oh yeah, that's me. Um, I wish that they just basically used the dad more. I think he could have been a lot funnier. Basically, what do you think? What would you improve, especially visually?
You know, the visual aspect I thought was pretty good. I kind of expected a little bit more from the dad.
Yeah.
At the end, once I don't want to ruin it too much, but towards the end, I expected a little bit more from the dad, more communication, I guess, more input.
Yeah.
Kind of where I'm at.
I kind of liked that though. Again, because we didn't have him a lot in in the whole show, the whole movie. I kind of liked how they wrapped it up, where we were left with very minimal dad reaction, and then the point of view that we had, well, I thought was even better because then it was changing the focus on who actually needs the dad. You know what I'm saying? Like without giving too much away, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was just so. I thought that was really well done. Personally, it was less than I expected, but it was like that's right because I don't need it.
It was a love hate for me. I understood it. I
Yeah,
understood it.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know what? That's the right way to do it. But at the same time, like, well, shit. Why did they put a little bit more into the dad?
Totally. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that it was kind of like a letdown in that fact. That's true. Voice acting wise, now that's what's huge about this is we have Tom Holland and Chris Pratt playing the two brothers. I personally forgot it was Tom Holland until halfway through, so I think he did a really good job of kind of becoming the character and not just being Spider-Man's voice. How did you think the acting went for them, especially from those two main characters?
So I was kind of paying attention to that when they first came on, just to see how they would do. I think
Hmm.
they did pretty good. I did think that that it was a little different, but at the same time, do think I didn't expect them to do that good in an animated character.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I think that's what it kind of boils down to.
they did better than what I expected. At first, I was like, can they really pull off an animated character? And I actually do think they did pretty good.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, he kind of shows through his character, but a lot of that comes down to Chris Pratt's personality because he plays this. He actually his character in the show is a lot of like Andy from Parks and Rec, which is what kind of got Chris Pratt famous. And so it's hard when you hear that voice coming out of a guy who's like bolsterous and like let's go on adventures when you could see Andy from Parks and Rec doing that. So that didn't blend in as well. He did well, but it kind of shone through too much
True. Yeah, you knew who it was when you heard it.
right
Um,
away. And Tom Holland to me, it felt like I almost forgot about it, and then I was like, that's right, that's Spider-Man. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, absolutely. So it did take me. I guess it did take me a minute to realize it. That I knew who it was, but just to hear the voice, if I didn't know who it was beforehand, I probably wouldn't put two and two together.
yeah. And then the last,
Yeah, but that does suck.
yeah,
Because that does suck because like we got Rocket Raccoon with Bradley Cooper.
right,
I did not know that was Bradley Cooper for the longest time.
yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I had to watch videos of him doing Rocket Raccoon and be like, oh my god, this is amazing. So too bad it wasn't on that kind of level. But then again, they were just playing like normal teenagers or whatever, right?
Right. And I think, like I was saying, I think one of the hard parts is Chris Pratt's character plays a character that Chris Pratt's known for playing, pretty much. So it's hard to kind of melt into that when Tom Holland's character is kind of this shy, nerdy kid, which, yeah, very Peter Parker. But I mean, and man, he just like really did a good job of doing the voice acting for that. It really worked out well.
Do you expect you think the ending was good, or do you expect to follow on anything more for this movie? And do you think it's going to blow up in the Disney side of the house, or pretty stay kind of mellow?
I think it's gonna be mellow. I think this is one of their kind of just average Pixar movies. I kept getting like again, I keep saying this like, DreamWorks feel where it's just like, man, that's a good movie, but it's not gonna be a Toy Story. It's not so endearing. I think that they're gonna just like this is a one and done. It's not like Cars. It's not like Wall-E. Wall-E, one of the best movies ever made. It was missing something. It was heartfelt, but it wasn't like it was like super identifiable or something like that. I think it was missing a little bit. It was kind of actually now I'm thinking about it, it was closer to Wreck-It Ralph in the fact that it was just constant action, a lot of references because of the whole fantasy world that they're in. It's post magic fantasy world. So yeah, I don't know. Would you improve anything on this?
I don't know if I'd approve anything on it, but I don't think it's going to be the Frozen. I don't think you're going to see it
Yeah.
all over Disney. I think in the short period while it's out brand new, you're going to see it all over. You're going to see it in the Disney stores. You're going to see it, but you're not going to see it blasted everywhere. So I don't think much more after this one.
Yeah. Okay, so going from here, let's say you haven't watched this yet. Would you suggest they go to the theaters, wait for it to be released for for the home, or wait for it to go out on like Netflix? It'll be Disney Plus, but yeah.
Ooh, so I think it depends. I think if you enjoy the Pixar up kind of story,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a must see. So I would say yes, go see it in theaters.
Okay.
Just based off the storyline and kind of the tearjerker that it brings.
Do you think you'll? I know we're kind of almost past Blu-ray now, but do you think it's worth purchasing for your home?
What the fuck is Blu-ray?
Yeah, I know, right? And it's hard because this one's actually Disney, so it'll just be on Disney Plus. But do you
Yeah.
think like this is something you should own a copy?
No, this is to me personally, this is a one-time buy. I mean, one-time watch.
Yeah,
Watch it once and then press on. It's not a movie that I'm gonna keep replaying or watch over and over again.
right.
But it's a must see one time, and that's it to me. What about you?
I'd have to agree with you on that. I think I'll probably watch it like maybe one more time at home, but something like again like Wall-E or maybe even like the old school Toy Stories and stuff like those I'll rewatch all the time. Like those are a lot of rewatches. This one's not that case. I would wait for it to come home. I would probably buy it just because it is worth the watch, and I think if you have kids, for sure this is gonna be really good because it's a lot of short adventures, which that helps with the kids' short attention span. But yeah, so I think you got to buy it if you have kids, and then as a collector maybe.
You know what? That's crazy that you talk about Blu-rays and buying it. So there is no point in buying movies anymore with Disney coming out with that Disney Plus. Like if you're
Yeah.
saying it's coming to that, why buy it for the kid? You know, when you have Disney
That's the thing
Plus.
is, if it wasn't for Disney Plus, that's a whole nother field because this is actually going to come out with if same day it's on Blu-ray, it'll be on Disney Plus. But if it wasn't, if it was a DreamWorks or an Illumination, then you have to wait for like another couple months for it to be on Netflix. So Disney Plus kind
Yeah.
of messes it up. That's why it's kind of hard to kind of compare it with the others.
It's crazy that we got to that because I was just talking to someone recently, and I was a big fan of collecting superhero movies and any Disney movie, of
Right.
course. But what's the point? I used to always take pride in my collection, but now it's like, I kind of don't care about my collection anymore because why would I buy a movie when I could just click a button right here and watch it?
Yeah, I have a huge
So
DVD
crazy.
collection that just now sits there. I don't ever actually use them, and like
Yeah.
for me personally, I have 2 fat hard drives, that are about it's 11 terabytes together that are just stacked with movies that I've collected over the years, and it's kind of like, that to me is a more important movie collection now because it has everything that I can't find streaming wise. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Right? Yeah. Unless you're a collector, I don't see the need. To me, I'm not a collector when it comes to DVDs. And same thing with this movie. And I may disagree with you, Wally. To me, unless you're a collector, there's no need to purchase at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's go ahead and give this thing a letter grade. What do you think, Cheddar? What would you give it as a letter grade?
I'm gonna give it a solid B. Yeah, probably just a B.
Yeah, that's exactly what I gave it to. It was a B. Totally worth the watch. I did enjoy it a lot. I really liked the final battle. I think that was really well done. And I think it had a really good message. Basically, older brothers are amazing. So Jonathan should probably go watch this. But yeah, it was good. I did overall like it.
I mean, compared to me, I think it's full of shit. Oh, when it comes to older brother part.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing. But to me, it is a must watch one time. It's not something I'm gonna put on replay.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right, guys, that's going to be it for our reviews and for news. Coming up on March 22nd, we have the Sacramento Comic-Con. Come and join us. We have 2 other podcasts that are going to be meeting us there to do some live recordings. We're going to have a lot of fun and games and stuff like that. We'll be doing a lot of things. If you come by, we'll be having you on the air. We were going to do the ranked board, and we're actually going to cancel the ranked board just because I think it's best that we don't have everybody touching the same things and hanging them up right now with everybody's all the worries. We will have a lot of Purell, though. And then next week we have a huge announcement, so make sure you guys join us. We'll do a video for it. It'll be on our website, and of course it'll be on the podcast as well. So we have a really big announcement coming then. And so guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you all next week. Bye. Say big stuff. Thank you for joining us on the Geek Freaks podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Geek Freaks Pod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram. You can email us. We have our Patreon and a store. All those links are in the description. Thank you so much for joining us. And